Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for watching this video. I'm going to be talking with you today about um, how to still generate leads and sales during a recession, right? And so I know that this is a time where, depending on what your business model looks like, um, you know, or and depending on how you may run your business, maybe you're feeling a difference and maybe you're trying to figure out what are some things you can do. What are some things you can do that will help to bring in more clients, that will help you to, continue to scale, grow, and etc. And what I'm going to share with you during today's video, I'm going to go over with you like how you can still continue to make leads and sales. Honestly, I know that there's a lot of things that's on the news that will try and make you feel some type of way, and you have to not pay attention to. Well, how do I put it? Like when you're a business owner, when you own a small business, that's not what you should be. You can't put all your um, attention there because otherwise you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunity. You're going to miss out on a lot of opportunity, and you're not going to see opportunity because you're gonna feel like, oh, things really are tough. I'm just not to like deal with this and etc. When that's definitely not true. Okay, so I'm gonna go over with you today. What do you need to know? What can you do? See, sorry. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I'm trying to do something at the same time. And save. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go over with you what you need to know. What are some things you can do in order to help you to continue to stay strong, continue to grow your business, and continue to flourish, right? And in fact, do even better than you thought you would do. Do really well despite how things may appear to be. Did you know that it's usually honestly during a time of recession where the most number of opportunities are? It's usually during a time of recession where the more millionaires are birthed than ever, right? So it's just all about honestly um, what you're doing. Okay, so here's the thing. Let me kind of first talk about where you might be. And I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna try not to keep this super long. So if you're watching this, I promise you, it will be worth your time to watch this from beginning all the way to the end because it's gonna really actually help you. Okay, I actually help people for real, for real. And just a little bit about myself. If you don't know who I am, my name is Choma. I am actually a registered nurse that started. I became a nurse in 2010, so I've been a nurse for 12 plus years, but I started business in 2015. And when I pretty much the business I started was to help nurses, and I still do it now, but essentially to help nurses, new grads to pass the boards examination. Well, I built that business entirely using social media. I've been able to grow more than 100,000 followers across social media with over 1 million views on Pinterest. And I've used that knowledge information now to build courses and ebooks and etc., but also to help people like yourself to teach you how to grow your business, how to monetize, as well as also to, if you need help, manage and grow your social media. So I actually have experience and actually have actually done the work to be able to say, here's how to grow your social media. And I will be talking with you about what you can do, to continue to grow, and not worry about what's happening, the credit debit, the credit, the no, no, the U.S. debt limit, all that type of stuff. Okay, so the first and foremost is that you have to evaluate where you are. Okay, you have to evaluate where you are right now, and you have to do kind of like an inventory, not a physical inventory. That you can do that too, as far as how many products you have. That's essential, but you have to do an inventory of your business. You have to evaluate what have you been doing in the past 6 months, what has been working, what hasn't been working, Like exactly. For example, is the network that you're part of, is that helping you to get leads and sales? Is the ads that you're running, is that helping you to get leads and sell? Is the organic reach that you're doing, the social media that you're posting, the marketing agency that you're working with? You have to go back and do like an inventory in the past 6 months and see what's been working and what hasn't been working, and see what you've been reaping with each different type of key performance indicator. If you know, if we're getting more technical, or not, you shouldn't use the word technical, but if we're using more terms, right? So you have to measure all those things. And so one of the things is that because you can't really do a whole lot without data. Even if you think, oh, I'm not making that much, or we're not doing that much, or whatever, you still have data. You still have some information that you have or are ignoring, that could you could benefit honestly from going back and looking and reviewing, and think about, well, why isn't it working? Well, what haven't I been doing? You know, what have we been doing? Is it my team? Well, when did this start? Did this start when I hired so and so? You see what I mean? So like really be thinking about that. Don't just brush things aside just because you feel like your numbers are too small. So that's the first thing. The next thing now is, now you have to realize that the issue for a lot of people that are not doing well in business right now, or in general right now, is that there is a shift. Okay, there is a shift that has already taken place, and it's like it's compounding every single year since the pandemic. And this year it's going to go like, like ahead strong, like really, really fast strong. And so there's like a compounding effect that's honestly taking place. And so what I mean by this is that there are certain elements or certain things that you can and cannot do that will lead to things working for you or things not working for you. And so the issue for a lot of people is that they haven't honestly shifted. And so because they haven't really shifted, that's why the results are still the same. And a lot of people are hoping that things will change while still doing what they're currently doing. They're not really pivoting, and they're not really moving things in a different direction. So let me give you an example. Um, here's some small things you can do that won't cost you any money. You can first look at your website, right? So the way that things have shifted now, because of the pandemic, what happened when the pandemic came? The pandemic came, and essentially now we are more home, right? So we're prone to be more at home, and that didn't change. That's still the same, and we naturally stay more at home. People are also staying at home more simply because to save money on gas, electricity, well, not electricity, but gas and other things as well. So that's another element behind it too. So people are staying at home more than they were before. And as a result, the internet, right? For the past 10 years, the internet has been growing, like as far as the number of users on the internet. And I'm sorry, not Facebook, social media has been where people are literally residing at. Right? How many times have you already checked your phone today? How many times have you already checked your social media today? Right? So people are on there, and because people are on there, they're not doing something else anymore. Right? So before, people would spend most of their time on like TV, watching TV, right? That's essentially where we would be at. We would get off of work, watch TV, go to bed, do the next thing, do it all over again the next day. But now things have shifted now, where things have moved, and people are watching less TV, and they're watching more of social media. They're on social media, they're watching streaming channels, right? That's why a lot of cable companies have been suffering, because things have shifted. And so, what you have to ask yourself as a small business owner, or even as a person, but what you have to ask yourself is, where am I not shifting? How can I move to what's already trending? Because if you don't move to what's trending, your business will die. All right, I'm gonna tell you like it is. Your business will die, and don't think that you are immune just because you made $10 million or $50 million or whatever. Your business, if you're not doing things in the direction that things are moving, eventually it will stop moving. We see this as well with Revlon Cosmetics Company. They've been around for 100 plus years. They're closing down because they didn't shift, right? Because if you go to Revlon, the main way that you can buy Revlon products is if you go to like Rite Aid, CVS, Walgreens, but they didn't spend time working on how to get a brand influencers to put on our products and show people wearing our products. They didn't spend time doing live stream videos that show people the use of the products. They didn't spend time, working on their social media. They didn't do any of those things, and that's why they're collapsing now. And there's so many other businesses like this. And it doesn't matter what type of business you are, even if this is makeup, but it doesn't matter regardless of your business model, um, you can, this still applies to you. So here's the thing, okay? So here's the thing. You have to figure out, okay, how do I need to shift? Where do we need to shift? How do we need to move so that way we stay relevant? And like I was saying before, one of the things is you probably need to look at your website, right? Do you even have a website? Are you a brick and mortar and you have no website? Right? Because nowadays, what people do, people will Google stuff first before they just show up, right? Because they don't want to they don't want to get in, get dressed, get in their car, drive all the way over there, and blah blah blah. They want to make sure that it's worth their time, their resources, the gas, etc. So, how does your website look like? Have you fixed your website? Right. So this is the some of the examples that I'm giving you. Right. Working on your social media, building out your social media, so that way you can become more discoverable online. Right. Giving people a reason to click, to watch, to listen, to learn, to opt in. These are all the things that I'm talking about today. And like I said, there's a reason why people are spending money in certain places. I know, don't get fooled, because I know everybody talk about the price of eggs and how much eggs cost and etc. But honestly, at the end of the day, people are still spending money though, right? Because they have to survive and etc. But there people are still spending money, and they say that 87% of the money that comes into the U.S. economy is made by the 3 to 5% of the U.S. economy. So what I mean by this is that 87% of the wealth that comes into the economy is actually generated by 3 to 5% of the people, which is essentially the people who are wealthy, the people who have disposable income. They're the ones that is paying and buying a lot of stuff. And so that's the reason why no matter how bad things get, the economy will continue to bounce back and bounce back and bounce back. So the question is, are you willing to shift though? One of the things that you should be doing in order to, I remember I wanted to set up for you guys now, but one of the things you should be doing is that you need to start creating leads. So now, unfortunately, because a lot of scams took place in the past 2.5 years, right? People were scammed of their money. People don't want to take that risk no more. So now you have to really build know, like, and trust with strangers. You have to build that know, like, and trust factor with strangers. And so the way you do this is through a sales funnel, right? Does that term sound familiar? So you have to begin to, if you don't have the time to go live every single day, you need to create a sales funnel. You need to build that out, because if you don't build that out, you're honestly going to be working on your business every single day of the week with no breaks, right? Trust me, I know. Okay? So you have to start out by building a sales funnel. A sales funnel is like a process that you take people through. First, it starts with brand awareness, so you make people aware of what you're doing and who you are, right? Through organic reach or through running ads. And then from there, you begin to create interest. And then from there, you give them a reason to opt into something. You build desire. You give them opportunity to take action. And then they can purchase whatever your offer is, right? That's essentially what a sales funnel looks like. Now, one of the fastest ways to move a sales funnel quickly with a high volume of people is through running ads. So I'm definitely a big believer of organic reach and organic etc. But what I will say though is that organic is good, but it's not predictable. That's the problem with relying on organic, and it takes a lot of work to, once again, trust me, I know, it takes a lot of work to keep doing organic over and over again without getting burnout and without getting tired and without taking lots of breaks. So it takes a lot of work. That's why you need to implement ads eventually. Once you figure out what's working, you have to start running ads to it. You have to start utilizing other people's platforms. Does that sound familiar? Other people's platforms in order to build your platform. It's the one of the rules of making money is that you can either build your platform, right? But oftentimes in order to do that, you can use other people's platforms, i.e. Facebook's platform. You're borrowing their platform when you use their ads. You're borrowing YouTube's platform when you run their ads. You're borrowing Instagram when you run Instagram ads, right? So you're leveraging their platform to get access to your ideal clients quickly, immediately, so that you can scale. So the issue for people when you're not generating leads and customers is because you're either relying on old methods and it's not effective, and or what you're doing is that you're not moving in the direction where people are, where the people that do have disposable income, the people that do have money, right? The volume, like your reach is so limited. And that's why you're working so hard, but you're not seeing a difference because your reach is so tiny based on what you're doing, right? It's so limited. Versus there's a whole pool of people over here that are ready to give you money like it's nothing, right? But you have to first show value. And so that's why you have to build out a sales funnel. You have to create a lead magnet. You have to set it up into a system, an opt-in system. They join that opt-in system. You create value and you build no like and trust factor, and then you send them your offer. Whatever that offer is through a like a nurture sequence or through a video training, and the offer could be get on the call with you. The offer can be a big high ticket program. The offer can be your $300 course. The offer, it can be whatever you want it to be. But the reality is that you have to learn to run ads so that way it actually works for you. So one of the things that I'm doing is that I'm going to be running a free webinar, and it's called the Facebook Ads Blueprint. In the webinar, I'll be able to show you, share my screen, and show you exactly how I run ads and how you can run ads, what you can do to get started, how you can begin to generate leads with your ads, how you can begin to generate sales with your ads. So I'm going to share my screen and show you how to do this. And this is free. This, honestly, this training alone, because most people that teach you about marketing, they will never show you their ads account because they're not really doing it. They're just waiting for you to sign up so that way they can start doing it. Okay? So they're not, so this training that I'm going to share with you, it's an $11.97 value. All right? $1,197 value. But I'm giving it to you for free. If you click the link, right, you can click the link below, or you can click the link. I think I pinned it right here, and you can sign up for free right now, right? You can get started. You can be a part of it. You can watch, listen. There's not going to be a replay, so show up live, okay? Show up live, register, and be a part of this experience, and you will learn a whole lot more in that 1 hour time frame than you thought you would learn. All right, so that was it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you can send me a message. And I hope you found this valuable and informative. And I'll see you the next time.